Now let us see how do we automatically refresh in Power BI service. So what happens is the data keeps on coming every day, a new data, and I want to train my Power BI so that it should automatically go and fetch and refresh the data from Power BI service to that data source. It should connect, it should pull back the data. So that is the topic, automatic refresh, and we will require something named as data gateway. A tool is required, an intermediate tool is required here. Now, how do we do that? First of all, I'll go to this My Workspace on the left hand side and go to this reports. So this is the report which I've created, the original report which I published, and this was a copy of that report. Whenever I publish a report, a data set is also published. Okay, so if I click on data set, you can see this is the data set and the name of data set is same name of your report. Okay, so if I publish 10 reports, 10 data sets also would be published with that report. So here if you see, these are the actions which are there, and what was the last refresh done? So it was 10:37:52. Okay, on this particular date, this was refresh time. Now what is the time I have on my screen? The time is 11:41:29. Okay, that's the time, and I have published on 10:37. Now what I want to see a live data right now. Live in the sense, if I have changed something on that Superstore file, Excel file, it should reflect here, it should refresh. So let us see. I have to click on this refresh now button and let's see what happens. Right. So I've got this message and the message is refreshed failed due to gateway configuration issues. So as I said, you need some tool in between, only then you can refresh the data. After you get this message, it will tell you that you do not have a gateway. This data set requires a properly configured gateway in order to refresh. I understood. There's a lengthy message. So how to install a gateway? Many methods are there. One of them is I can click on gateway connection and click on install now. That's one method. Second method is I can click on this button here. You see this small drop down button is there, and I can click on data gateway. Second method. Third method is you can go to the website and download from there. Okay. So let me click on install now. If you are working in a company, already into a company, you don't have to do that. This will be done by your admin person. So I'll just click on install now. It will download a gateway which is 213 MB file. So it will take some 5 minutes to install the gateway and then do the connection part. Okay. But as I said, if you're working in a company, this video you can skip. You don't have to do it manually. It will be done by the admin person. If you're learning Power BI and if you're going for an interview, I would suggest you properly see this video. This will be required. Now, once the gateway is installed, this will be a connection with your Power BI service and your data set in your desktop or any place, SQL, Oracle, Big Data, anything. So gateway is an intermediate between your data and your Power BI report. Okay. Now, this is downloaded. How to install a gateway? I'll just click on this link over here, the downloaded file. Make sure you have the admin privileges, then you can install it properly. And I can just click on I accept. Click on update. The steps are very simple. You can just select the options, default option, and click on next. So depending upon your machine configuration, it will take appropriate time and install. So you see, I've got the message here as your gateway is all set up and you're ready to use. Okay, that's the installation done. Now I can click on sign in and enter the email address of the login email address which I've used for sign up on Power BI service. Same email address and click on next. And then I can enter the username, password. First one is email address. I can just paste that. Next, and the password. So installing gateway is not that difficult. It is easy. Anyone can do it, provided you have the admin privileges on your laptop to install and download all these features. So I've got a message here. Gateway is online and ready to be used. Okay. So I can just click on close button here. Now what I can do is I can just refresh this button here and refresh the browser and let's see what happens. So here, again, if I go back to this data set, gateway connection, and if you see something is given here, which is gateway, personal gateway, which is running on desktop, and that's the name of my desktop here. Initially, there was no option available and this button was disabled. Okay, so installation is very simple, straightforward. We have done that. Now, coming back, I will go back to my workspace and go to reports and click on this report here. Okay, I'll click on data set. So by the way, I forgot to tell you that data set should be refreshed, not the report. Data set is important. So again, if you see, the timing is still 10:37:52. Now the timing is 10:48. Now if I click on refresh button, let's see, I should not get an error, but let's see our luck how it works. So yes, some message I've got here. Okay, some message I've got and the time is refreshed. Okay, so that's a live data. So let me see what the message is. If I click on this, it says the schedule refresh has been disabled. Please try it again. No problem. That's not a problem here. Now, when I come back to this reports here, and if I open this publishing report, okay, so the data is getting refreshed here, but practically we'll see an application using gateway. Carefully observe how many regions I have. In the file, I have central, east, south and west. What I'll do is I'll go to my laptop, open that Superstore file and add one more region. Let's say southeast or northeast. Okay, I'll open that folder where I have the files. The file number is 10.1 sample Superstore. In this file, I'll add two more regions, southeast and northeast, something like that. Either I can add below or I can replace. That's a region column, you see. And let me just select and replace as northeast. Okay, and I'll select some other data and southwest. Okay, so that's the data. If it is not visible, let me expand it. So what I've done is existing data I have modified and changed it. If you want, you can also add a data at the end, no problem. I can just go at the bottom and write here something as northwest. This also you can add entire record. So I have to add entirely, so I didn't do that. Save it. And now I can click on close button. So the file is on my laptop, on my desktop, and here I am trying to refresh in Power BI Online. Okay, so if I go back here in the workspace, I'll click on dataset. Carefully observe the time is now 11:50, and here time is 11:48:35. I can click on this refresh button. This will ask my file 11:48. Now it should show 11:50. This will go and ask my Superstore file, whatever data is refreshed, and the report should be refreshed. Now if I go to this reports option, if I open this publishing report and go to this Superstore report here, and nothing has changed. So I have to click on this refresh button and let us see what happens. So still no changes I can see. Okay, again if I click on refresh, nothing has happened. So let us find out the root cause. I will go to this workspace, go to this data set and click on this three dots, click on settings. In the data set, click on settings. Now if you see here, what is the error? Data source credentials. That Superstore file, Excel file, that's a Superstore file, and it is telling that the credentials are not correct. The username password to that Excel file is not correct. Now in that Excel file, there is no username password. So I can click on that edit credentials and tell them that that Excel file has no username password. So I'll click on done and click on sign in. So this will remove that error message. Okay, remove that error message. And if you see now, there's no cross button. And here if you see, it's updated. Okay, now I can just go to that my workspace, data sets, and now if I click on refresh, okay, now if I click on refresh, the time should be 11:52 on that place. Yes, so you see the time has changed, 11:50-58. Now if I go to that report and if I open that report, now finally if I go to that Superstore report and here if I click on refresh, the other data which was northeast and southwest has been added into my report here. So hope you're getting what we have done. Let me revise it. I downloaded a gateway, installed a gateway. After installing a gateway, you have to refresh the data set. Check if the report is getting refreshed. If not, you can go to that my workspace in datasets. Here you can click on settings button and check whether the username password you have to give for that dataset. So here the username password was not there. So I told them by clicking on edit credentials. That is the entire process for automatic refresh. And the last one is scheduling refresh. So if I go to schedule refresh, I can make it as on and I can tell them that I want to refresh this report daily at time. I can just click on add time at morning 3 a.m. So when my employees leave the company, I can just refresh this every morning 3 a.m. and I can just click on apply button. So like this, I can schedule this refresh n number of times in a day. To be very specific, 8 times in a day. I can just click on this add button. I can add 8 times if you are using a pro account. If you are using a premium account in a company, 48 times in a day per data set you can refresh. Here only 8 times in a day per data set. So I can tell them at 3 o'clock and at 4 o'clock at night you have to refresh. Okay, this way you can click on apply. Okay, so these are the scheduling refresh in Power BI. Okay, for time being, I hope you have understood how to do an automatic refresh, installing and downloading gateway, and also scheduling refresh in Power BI service. That's all for this video.